I'm Sierra Doctor here on the Red River Farm Network in Robinson, North Dakota for the Pioneer Agronomy Update. I'm here with Pioneer Seeds field agronomist Larry Lunder and sales associate Mike Higgins. Is that right?
Yep.
Higgins?
Yep.
Mike Higgins. Larry, let's start with you. Let's talk a little bit about field conditions kind of in the area that you cover here.
Well, the area I cover is relatively large, but we'll say for western North Dakota right now, which is part of it. And the field conditions are pretty good. We've had warmer temperatures. We've got nice, good soil temperatures in the mid-60s. We've got corn emerged and nice warm weather. We're really accumulating those growing degree units, really pushing the corn pretty fast. And considering where we were a month ago, I'm really delighted to be in this position because I thought we'd really struggle to get planting and get things going, and it's kind of been just the opposite of what I thought it would be.
Yeah, when is the bulk of planting kind of started and finished up in your area?
Well, I believe, and Mike can say more, but I believe this field was about the 10th of May. This would be some of the earliest stuff planted, so we had a window between probably the 10th and the 20 to 22nd of May where a lot of the corn went in. We had a lot of stuff going. In fact, we had points during the year when they were seeding small grains, canola, soybeans, corn, and sunflowers. So we had kind of just a mix of everything going in at the same time. It was really a compact rush spring, but we also had very good planting conditions, and we're seeing some really nice fields emerging right now.
Yeah, and planting's majority done, and so I think farmers are kind of turning towards weed control options right now. What are some of the major weeds when you look at central to western North Dakota and some weed control options?
Well, right now what we're looking at is kochia, of course, that haunts us all the time. I've seen a fair amount of foxtail, or pigeon grass as is commonly referred to, start to emerge. We have some wild buckwheat coming, field bindweed, a fair amount of commons, lamb's quarter. That's gotten to be a more troublesome weed as we've shifted into some of our post-only weed control systems. As far as what we're using for herbicides, we're kind of getting out of the window for probably some of the early pre's you could use. We're likely now getting into something where we're going to use glyphosate and then something for the broadleaves. That's going to depend on the field, on the stage of the corn, and what we're rotating to next and what weed problems we're having in that particular field.
Right, and farmers are always battling weather with it. You had mentioned that this field had received some hail damage. Walk me through, I guess, it doesn't look too bad, but where's, I guess, the point of no return when you see hail damage come through?
Well, right now we're kind of coming into about V3 roughly on this field. So right now we're all right yet. We could, even if we had a very bad hailstorm, it would recover. Once you get beyond a point that the growing point has come out of the ground post V5, then damage like that can be way, way worse for the field because a plant might not recover. Same thing would be true with your spring wheat. When you talk about something like soybeans, then you have the growing point gets exposed right away with emergence. So it's more critical when you have a hail incident on something like a soybean crop.
Okay, yeah. Anything else you wanted to add?
No, just keep an eye on those fields because the weeds are emerging very fast, and I know everybody's been busy trying to finish up planting, but the spraying's really going to hit hard. So I'm hoping everybody's really concentrating on that over the next week or so to keep the weeds out and keep that crop growing.
Absolutely. All right. Switching over to sales associate Mike Higgins here. Mike, tell me a little bit about this particular field.
Yeah, so this field is planted with a 8859. One of the newer 80-day corns for Pioneer. We actually planted it on the 5th of May, and up along this tree grove up here there was still still snow right on the side of the trees. We've gotten pretty good rain in here in the last few weeks. We've had a little over 2 inches the last couple of days, and then with that came some hail, as Larry said. All in all, it's looking really good. Should be well over knee high by the 4th of July. We're thinking probably close to waist or chest high. Yeah, we're pretty happy with it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's still pretty good moisture here. Around the ground still pretty at least got some moisture on it.
Yeah, well, in the last about 10 days, we've had over 6 inches of rain here. 2 weeks it's been about 6 inches. And so we're in a good position other than where it's drowned out. Where it's on the hilltop stuff, it'll do good. The low areas, we had a little bit of drowned out corn. But the rest of the field should do really well.
Yeah. As far as, weed control, we've been talking about that, but for this particular field, what's kind of your game plan?
We've already sprayed it once, and we might have to come back in later on after this rain, spray it down again. Other than that, hopefully it canopies over and the weeds kind of just die out on their own.
Yeah. As far as some of your other fields, how did planting go for you? When did you wrap up?
Yeah, so we're just kind of finishing up. We had started the corn and beans pretty much all at the same time. It was a big push working well into the morning hours to get beans treated. We finished up with corns and beans. Probably, there's still a few guys doing it, but probably this last few days, 3-4 days ago. Now there's guys into sunflowers, and we'll be getting into some sorghum on the wetter ground here in the next week.
Alrighty. So planting progress still progressing really well around the area.
It is. Yep.
All right, very good. This is a Pioneer Agronomy Update. I'm Sierra Doctor, joining me here with Larry Lunder, Field Agronomist, and Pioneer Seeds Sales Associate Mike Hagens. Reporting agriculture's business, I'm Sierra Doctor, here on the Red River Farm Network.